single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. A rap stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay back, stay proud, never running out.
BNC Bills News consolidated Buffalo Bills versus the Cleveland Browns flexed out to Detroit, and we're going to go over there and handle some business. We got to discuss it tonight. Join up, join the feed, guys. Comments, questions, concerns. We're going to ball out all night long. We have some announcements to make. Buffalo Bills sign ex-Buffalo Bill AJ Klein, beast mode AJ Klein. We all wanted to bring him back this offseason, right? And he just cost a little bit too much. But I think the Buffalo Bills made a wise decision bringing him back. Much needed piece to this defense. Absolutely dynamite. Absolutely dynamite. I love it. I love it. You know, you go against teams like the Cleveland Browns, who are definitely going to be running the ball down our throat. AJ Klein coming out in that base defense. You know, the Bills have really been shying away from that base defense this year, from having three linebackers out on that football field. And I'll tell you right now, AJ Klein will make a difference. You know, relying on Terrell Bernard, rookie, it's tough. It's tough. And then the injuries, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, all these guys going down with injuries. AJ Klein is no joke for the Bills. He's going to come in. He knows the scheme. He knows Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier. I mean, this is just a flawless fit for the Bills. Absolutely love it. And I believe he was here when Jordan Phillips was here as well. But guys, if you're watching this live, comments, questions, concerns, we're discussing it. This Buffalo Bills will be playing in Ford Field for back-to-back weeks here, going there this week against the Cleveland Browns. And then, of course, on a short week against the Detroit Lions on Thursday. On Thanksgiving, the Bills will be playing back-to-back weeks against at Ford Field. And I kind of like that. I think it gives us a little bit of advantage going against the Detroit Lions. You know, you'd think Detroit, home field advantage, going against the Bills, Thursday night football. But you know what? We were just there. We're going to be there playing the Cleveland Browns this upcoming week. And they're a dangerous team. And I've been saying it. This is a make or break game for the Buffalo Bills. It's scary to say that at this point in the season. The AFC East is no joke. I mean, we're third in the AFC East. We're 0-2 in the AFC East. The Jets, the Miami Dolphins, they're balling out. And it's tough. And I don't know. I think if the Bills go down for this game, it's going to be awfully tough to win the Super Bowl. Like, I could see us still making the playoffs and everything, but for the Bills to win the Super Bowl, I don't know. We got to go out. We got to show out and sack it to them. But again, AJ Klein, this signing for the Buffalo Bills is absolutely huge. I think it just brings an extra element to this team. And then we always talk about just having that veteran presence there to help coach Terrell Bernard. I mean, that's really what we have Terrell Bernard here to do, is fill that role. It's huge. And Dean Marlowe, Nyheim Hines, you know, Brandon Beane, he just continues to make the Buffalo Bills better and better throughout the season. And we see it, the Philadelphia Eagles, potential Super Bowl, right? Buffalo Bills versus the Eagles. They bring in Sue, Ndamukong Suh. I mean, come on, baby. That's some dangerous stuff right there. I mean, Bills, we have to make moves. And I know Odell Beckham is still out there for the Bills. Nyheim Hines, he even admitted to how overwhelmed he was dealing with this playbook, learning not only the running back position, wide receiver position. He said it was like Chinese to him, trying to learn Chinese. So, you know, we had Jamison Crowder earlier in the season. We thought he was going to be there to work with Josh Allen throughout the year, develop with Josh Allen, but he goes down. Even Isaiah McKenzie, then, you know, he was kind of sharing the load with Jamison Crowder throughout training camp. And then Isaiah McKenzie steps in and gets concussed, right? And then he's out. He kind of breaks his trend in working with Josh Allen a little bit. So the Bills were really missing that third option, you know, and the teams have figured it out. And I think that's what's going on with Josh Allen. And I know the Bills, Ken Dorsey and the Bills are going to overcome this. Teams have figured out how to beat Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And it's double covering Diggs, taking away the number one option. You know, Josh Allen's looking at Diggs, lock him down, bracket Diggs with not even your best cornerbacks. You put your best corner on Gabe Davis. Therefore, you're almost at times really locking out Gabe Davis. So you're taking away Xing out the Buffalo Bills number 1, number 2 option. Well, where is our number 3 option? Jamison Crowder hurt. Isaiah McKenzie kind of got banged up. He was stepping up. I think he had back-to-back touchdowns right to start the season. It's unfortunate. So who is going to be our number 3? And that trade for Nyheim Hines says it all. It really should be Nyheim Hines. But the mistake for the Buffalo Bills has been it not using the running game to be that second or even third option this season. It's just so unfortunate. We saw it, Devin Singletary balling out 2 touchdowns before the second half, right? Doing some great things, shredding the Vikings. I mean, you look back at the tape and Devin Singletary was just juking, jackrabbiting his way through that freaking Vikings defense. Like it was nothing. And of course, we got away from it, continued passing the ball with a 3-possession lead. What are we doing? What are we doing here, guys? Just doesn't make sense. We're just making mistakes, too many mistakes. And with all the injuries piling up, we're not good enough to overcome these mistakes. And going into this season, I was sitting there like, man, there's no way anyone can beat us. There's no way we're going to lose. But knowing how many injuries we have, we're not good enough to overcome any mishaps. Even the refs, even going into this year, I'm like, I don't even care if the refs try to screw us. We're good enough to overcome it. But you know what? Right now, we're not good enough to overcome those moments. Not having Jordan Poyer out there, Tremaine Edmonds going down. It's been a mess. Trey White, Micah Hyde. I mean, and then this week, all the players not practicing because of a weird illness going around. I mean, even Isaiah McKenzie didn't practice today. Players are not even going against one another. They're separating the offense and defense apart. But Bills, we're making moves. Xavier Rhodes was brought in. Justin Murray was brought in the offensive line. Nyheim Hines, right? We're doing things there in the back end. And of course, AJ Klein. We got to do this. We got to do this, Bills Mafia. The time is now. You know, Zach Wilson seems like he's only going to keep getting better and better. Tua, he seems like he's only going to keep getting better and better. We'll see what's going on with the Patriots with Zappy and Mac Jones, but getting crazy. It's getting crazy out there. And this weather, we got to talk about it. Just one other thing regarding this weather. I think it is ultimately a good thing that this game got flexed out to the Ford Field in the dome. Get out of this weather here. You know, the last time the Buffalo Bills played in that Snow Bowl, the quarterback for the Colts at that time was Jacoby Brissett, who we're going to be going against this week. So the Bills going against a quarterback who has experience playing in that snow. I mean, Jacoby Brissett knows exactly what he would be walking into if he was playing in Buffalo, right? I don't like that. And I really think the game, if it was in the snow, it just turns into like a pitch and catch game. It just turns into, I mean, you can't run routes. You can't run routes in the snow. I mean, to run crisp routes in the snow is not happening. But when you hand the ball off to the running back and he can run freely, he can paint the field with his feet and just do whatever he wants instead of being in this strict running a route like a wide receiver has to do and be on the same page as the quarterback. You know, in games like that, it's just backyard football. It's literally Josh Allen locking onto a wide receiver, looking at him and just telling the wide receiver, like, get open. Just do whatever you can, get open. I'm going to get the ball and just stare you down and just pitch and throw it. And I think the Bills would be good enough to do that. But I like going to Detroit here. Nick Chubb, third best rusher in the NFL, has just been balling out of control. Matt Chu with the comment here. I appreciate it, man. So Detroit is hosting the Bills twice in 2 weeks. I bet Ralph finds that funny. I'm sure he does. Yep. Detroit seems like it's Buffalo's second home. That's for sure. You know, it's really not far. It's right down the street. I mean, you drive to Detroit, you get there overnight. You know, even Cleveland, it's right there. You know, and this definitely sparked a debate. The Bills' new stadium, right? You know, right now, in a weird way, when the news came out that the Bills might be going to Detroit, in a weird way, I was like, as much as I want the game here, as much as I want to go to the game and experience the snow, it's just, you know, I didn't like it because we're not good in the snow. we're not good in bad weather. Seeing what happened against Mac Jones and the Patriots in that playoff game, and it makes me nervous. And it's sad to say that. It's sad to say that. It's just, and it's not Josh Allen. It's not Josh Allen. You know, we brought in Josh Allen because he's got a strong arm. He could throw it. He could throw it in the wind. He could do all these things. But it's our offense, and what we're best at as an offense is really not running the football. Josh Allen can run it. Josh Allen can run it. But to be a number 2 or number 3 threat, teams don't respect it. Teams don't respect it. And we're building on it. We're building on it, our run game. But you know what? I'll tell you right now, the teams do respect the Cleveland Browns in their run game. And what we're going to look at too, I want to show you really quick. The stats are skewed. The stats are skewed for the Cleveland Browns, right? You look at the Cleveland Browns offensively, what they're doing here, they're just solid. You know the phrase they say, the best defense is a great offense. The best defense is a great offense. And that's kind of what the Cleveland Browns philosophy has been, right? Limiting the turnovers, fundamental football, running the ball with Nick Chubb, grinding the clock out, you know, and just winning the game. And you really think about it here. Look, Amari Cooper, right? That's huge. That's huge. Rushing yards, Nick Chubb, 904. But what I want you to pay attention to is all the players that are actually getting involved for Jacoby Brissett. We're going to compare Jacoby Brissett to Josh Allen as well. But just look here. You know, you would think Amari Cooper is that dominant threat, that number 1 wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, but he's played in the same amount of games as Donovan People-Jones. He's only got 7 more receptions than Donovan People-Jones, right? He's got more targets. He's got, 14 more targets than Donovan People-Jones. So the point I'm trying to make here is that they're both a threat. Amari Cooper and Donovan People-Jones is really both a threat. And I think sometimes teams might be locking up Amari Cooper, and it just opens up things for Donovan People-Jones. Look at the yardage, 585 for Amari Cooper, 516 for People-Jones. I mean, no touchdowns for Peoples-Jones, 5 touchdowns for Amari Cooper. So they're definitely looking at Cooper in the red zone and stuff. Got to keep that in mind. So these rookies, you know, is Kaiir Elam going to be good to go this week? He was out last week because of an injury. Christian Benford, Dane Jackson versus Amari Cooper, premier wide receiver in the NFL. And he's different than Diggs. He's a little bit stronger than Diggs and physical. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a great matchup to watch there. How are we going to handle that? Is Jordan Poyer going to be a go again? Cam Lewis starting for his second game at safety. Damar Hamlin, I mean, come on. But they're spreading the ball too. So look, David Njoku, the tight end, he's only played in 7 games, so 2 less games. But look at the receptions. 34 receptions, only 1 less reception than Peoples-Jones. We were just saying how close Peoples-Jones was to Amari Cooper. They're really spreading the ball around here. Even Harrison Bryant, the other tight end, Kareem Hunt is gone. But they're getting the ball to a bunch of different players, spreading the ball around, keeping defenses honest. In the run game with Nick Chubb, the freaking NFL's 3rd best rusher. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So what I want you to see here, the point I'm trying to make, you look at the overall ratings for this game, right? Buffalo Bills have the 2nd best offense rated here, the 6th best defense in the NFL, compared to the Browns, who have the 10th best offense and the 13th best defense. I was like, dang, the Browns 13th best defense. And I'm like, we got to check out their players. And we know the talent on the Browns: Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, Greg Newsome. Denzel Ward. There's so much talent here. So I'm like, these guys have to be killing it with the stats, right? I mean, they got to have tons of sacks and fumbles, right? And it's crazy when you look at it. Here, I just want to pull it up for you guys. These players, I think I might have lost it. I had it pulled up earlier. But really, when you look at it, the Cleveland Browns are not doing anything statistically here, really. I mean, they're not getting a lot done, like interceptions, forced fumbles, and what I really think it's coming down to is the Cleveland Browns offense. It's because an offense makes a great defense. It's like their offense is doing so well, picking up first downs, running the ball with Nick Chubb, being physical, spreading the ball around the field. They got Amari Cooper, Donovan People-Jones, David Njoku, right? They're doing a great job offensively, and that is why they have the 13th best defense in the NFL. It's nuts. It's nuts. Look at the rush yards. When I looked at it, the Buffalo Bills right now are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 7th. They've given up the 7th most rush yards in the NFL. And the Cleveland Browns are down here at 16th. So that's crazy, right? I mean, you would think, how do the Browns have the 13th best defense, right? They're 16th against the pass, right? I just want to see. Oh, I'm sorry, 21st. Okay, they're 21st against the rush. So the Cleveland Browns are 21st against the rush. Okay, 21st against the rush. The Bills are 7th against the rush. And then you look at the pass. That's where they're 16th. They're 16th. So the Browns, oops, I'm screwing this all up. Where'd it go? The Browns here, yards on the season. See, the Browns here are 16th. Okay. $13th. So it's crazy. I don't know. I really think the Browns defense being 13th in the NFL, having the 21st overall against the run, 13th against the pass. I mean, they should be a lot worse. And what's helping them is that offense running the ball, keeping the Bills players or other players on the sidelines. We got another comment here. Daniel Gonzalez says, I think the biggest mistake last week was starting Cam Lewis over Dean Marlowe. That was definitely a big-time mistake. Whoop, that was a huge mistake. Didn't mean to play that. Huge mistake. It was a big-time mistake. I would have liked to see us if we were considering starting Cam Lewis. Why didn't we start him the previous week against Zach Wilson and the New York Jets? I mean, come on now. We're going to start him against Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen and this high potent passing attack for the Vikings 7-1 team. We're going to throw him to the dogs like that. And my gosh, the other question really is truly, what is the holdup on Trey White? I want to know, what is the holdup on Trey White? Are we being like extra cautious? Are the Bills just like, I don't know. Does Trey White want to come back? Is he being cautious? I just want to know what the dealio is. Maybe we just had a plan in place and we're just sticking to that plan because we have rookies there with Christian Benford, Kyer Elam. They got to get reps. They got to get playing time too. And we know Trey White has already brought somewhat of a boost to this team, coming back, practicing, definitely helping out, allowed to be around Kyer Elam, Christian Benford. It's definitely been a huge plus for the team that he's been here. So I think the keys going into this game, the Cleveland Browns have what it takes to run the ball, to keep Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills offense on the sidelines. And, we've been getting punched in the mouth. We've been getting punched in the mouth running the football. Delvin Cook last week got stopped all game, and all it took was one play. All it took was one play for him to take it to the house. They're scary. It's a scary, scary thing. Scary thing, guys. But guys, comments, questions, concerns. Want to get more into some player stats here. Josh Allen really dominating over Jacoby Brissett. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is just not the quarterback that Josh Allen is. So we definitely just got to take over the freaking game and try to run up the score, because if we get Jacoby Brissett passing the football, right, 2,074 passing yards for Jacoby Brissett, Josh Allen's 2,733 passing yards so far. And just like Nick Chubb, 900 rushing yards for Nick Chubb. Stephon Diggs has 985 receiving yards. So I'm telling you guys, we have what it takes to beat the Cleveland Browns, but they also have what it takes to beat us. The benefit is going to Ford Field. Going to Ford Field, Bills will be in a dome. Bills will be out of bad weather. Josh Allen can start slanging that freaking ball around. We all know the dome helps offenses. It helps offenses. And I'll tell you what, things happen faster in a dome. I don't know about you if you've played sports, but whenever you play indoors, things happen so much faster. It feels faster for whatever reason. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Buffalo Bills play indoors in a dome. I believe it's the first dome this season. I want to see it. I want to see it. We got to see Nyheim Hines, the speed that Nyheim Hines brings. I think Isaiah McKenzie also has a huge, huge role in this game to step up in this game, to ball out for the Bills once and for all. We just got to ball out. We got to ball out. Julio says, good point. Deacon says, home field advantage. It is kind of, it sucks. It really brings up the debate of this new stadium. Us wanting to put our players into the elements. We want to play in stuff like this. And, it's not Josh Allen. It's just the lack of our offensive run game, right? It's not that Josh Allen's bad in bad weather, right? It's just that our philosophy and what our offense does best, it's just not suited for bad weather, unfortunately. Crazy. AJ Klein pickup was huge. I feel like Edmonds' injury might be more serious than we think. We shall see. We're only halfway through. We just hit the halfway through point of this season, and it's still a long way to go. I mean, we are halfway through. We got what we just went through. We got what we just went through. And can you talk about it? The roller coaster, the ups and downs, all the injuries that have happened to this point. And I hope it settles down. The best teams get hot late. And I was discussing this with someone that the best teams get hot late, and you can only hope that the stars align at the right time for the Buffalo Bills, because for sure the stars are not aligned for Bills Mafia right now. The stars are definitely not aligned. We're humbled. We're sitting back. We're third in the AFC East. We've lost to Tua in Miami. Right? We lost to Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. You kidding me? That was just so pathetic. And then are you kidding me? The Vikings blowing the freaking Vikings game there. Man, Bills Mafia. It's been rough. It's been very rough to this point. But this is what makes us stronger. This is what makes us great, right? I think we needed this. We needed to overcome and go through this turbulence here. And I mentioned it at the beginning of this live feed. Teams have figured out how to play the Buffalo Bills, and we got to figure it out. We have the talent. We have the players. We have everything that we need to shatter NFL records this year. And we got to get there. We got to get healthy, and everyone just needs to click, and we all got to get on the same page. So let's see. Julio says, I think we need to play more zone. Playing man with our backup corners is bad. Plus Elam is out. From what I saw too is the times that we blitzed and we sent the house. Like we put Benford, Dane Jackson, we put them on an island against the Vikings. In the times that we blitzed, the Vikings offensive line held us up. Plain and simple. Kirk Cousins, we were rushing like 5-6 guys at times, and Kirk Cousins was still able to sit in the pocket, hold on to the football, and get it to Justin Jefferson. That is just unacceptable. It's flat out unacceptable. When you blitz, you have to get to a quarterback within a certain amount of time. And if you don't, you're requiring those corners to cover way too long. And it's almost impossible. Against Justin Jefferson, you're expecting, it's just not happening. And it's tough. I saw it. We tried to splice it in. I think the Bills defense, we did good. We didn't blitz all the time, but the times that we did blitz, Vikings offense, they picked it up solidly. They picked it up so solid. And maybe that's what AJ Klein is going to present. You know that we bring in guys that are excellent blitzers. AJ Klein was like that Lorenzo Alexander Swiss Army knife that we lost, right? And when we lost Lorenzo Alexander, we were all like, what are we going to do? AJ Klein came in, filled that role, and he did an excellent job. I think whatever AJ Klein lacks in pass rush, he picks up in pass coverage from Lorenzo Alexander. So, and he's made interceptions for the Bills. He bats balls. I mean, AJ Klein can rush off the edge like a defensive end. I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife. This is a huge signing for the Bills. He could fill in for an injured Tremaine Edmonds, played multiple roles for the Buffalo Bills. This is a huge signing for Buffalo. The only reason we didn't sign AJ Klein this offseason was because of his price. And you see him, he gets let go, and we scoop him up. Why not? Let's see. Any more comments, questions? Let's see. We have injuries to our wide receivers. What's the chances someone getting promoted to the active roster? I saw Marquez Stevenson getting healthy here. We might see Marquez Stevenson make an appearance here for the Bills Mafia. Jake Kumaro getting banged up. Isaiah McKenzie has an illness. Man, Bills, what is going on? We gotta get rid of this. Stars, the planets need to move. We got to shake this here. I think maybe the snowstorm will get rid of it. So absolutely nuts. I think the big thing here too is we're requiring a lot from Dawson Knox, and we're requiring him to block. And we saw last week Zadarius Smith. I mean, God, are you kidding me? We're Dawson Knox. We're putting him up against some of the strongest defensive ends, 3-4 outside linebackers in the NFL. And he's doing a good job, but not a great dominant job. Like Dawson Knox is doing a good job, but he's not Lee Smith, right? We don't have that Lee Smith tight end out there, that extension of the offensive line, a true extension of the offensive line. That was a big change that went into this season too, all the way to this halfway point to this season, right? We kind of stuck with Dawson Knox and Tommy Sweeney. We never really had that big physical tight end. We've also parted ways with Lee Smith. So, and when you look at it, when we are running the football, I know Devin Singletary did a great job against the Vikings last week. But when we are running the football, it would be nice to have an extra run blocking threat as a tight end. Like Dawson Knox does good, but how big of a run blocking threat is Dawson Knox? And that's primarily what we're using him as this year. Limited targets, especially in the red zone. Dawson Knox, limited targets in the red zone. And we see it like every time we do target Dawson Knox, he seems to make plays. It's like, why aren't we targeting him more? And perfect example of being a second or third option for Josh Allen. And he just seems not to be there. And it's proof that defenses have answers to a Dawson Knox. Like they have a player or players that could lock up Dawson Knox any given week. And then same with Gabe Davis. There's good enough cornerbacks in the NFL that are good enough to lock up Gabe Davis. But Stephon Diggs, man, you got to double Stephon Diggs. There's no one good enough in the NFL one-on-one to cover Stephon Diggs. We saw it, man. We saw it. Come on. No one could stop us. We see it all the time. Stephon Diggs goes against the best of the best on a week-to-week basis. And even Jalen Ramsey, right, against the Rams. We played week 1. Telling you. But we need that. We need someone else. We need a second option that is comparable to Diggs, that we could rely on as a second option, right? That's what I'm waiting for. And I really believe Brandon Beane, that's why we made a move. That's why we were eyeing up Christian McCaffrey or Christian Hunt, right? Or the rumors of Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley and these guys. Like, what it is we saw it. We saw it. There, we don't have our run game's not being respected as we can't use that as a second option. Gabe Davis, they got good enough players on a week-to-week basis to lock him up. So we can't really rely on him to be a true number 2 on a week-to-week basis. So we got to find someone else. And Isaiah McKenzie, maybe he's it, but no. Jamison Crowder, no, he goes down, right? In the run game. And Dawson Knox, it's crazy. It's driving me crazy. Think Brian Dable, comparing Brian Dable to Ken Dorsey, I don't know. It's hard to be an offensive coordinator. And I don't know if Brian Dable was really faced with as many teams doing the same exact thing that, I mean, the DNA is out there to beat Josh Allen. You know, you take away Stephon Diggs and you force them to find second option, right? And you just play them that way. It's tough. It's been tough. But guys, comments, questions, get them in here. Daniel says we should give Duke Johnson some more touches at running back. Hey, we'll see. We'll see about that. You know, Duke Johnson, I think he did a pretty good job with kick returns. Just everyone, man. We're using everyone on this team. Between illnesses and injuries, it's absolutely insane. If we win a Super Bowl this year, everyone is going to deserve that freaking ring on their finger. That's all I know. I'm waiting on Xavier Rhodes too. I'm waiting on him too. I mean, gosh, when we signed him, I was so pumped. But, I mean, Kyer Elam, he's doing good things. He's doing some awesome things. Trey White only had 4 interceptions his rookie year, and Kyer Elam already has 2, and he's halfway through the season. He's making plays. He's just a ball hawk. He's a ball hawk. I really like him. All our corners, Dane Jackson, Christian Benford, these guys are just doing so great. SNTSBC says, you think having 2 games in a row at the same stadium is an advantage or disadvantage? I think it's a huge advantage. I already discussed this too. Thursday playing Turkey Day, Thanksgiving football going back to back against the Detroit Lions. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. Going there this week, playing against the Cleveland Browns in that stadium, getting a sense of that stadium, getting us prepared for the following week where we're going to be playing the Detroit Lions there. I mean, it's definitely an advantage. I don't see why that would be a disadvantage at all. Jamal, our safety's getting experience on the field. That's right. Cam Lewis, I'm sure he's going to be getting that second start. I'm shocked we didn't start him against the Jets, and then we just started him against the Vikings. But, get him against the Jets, Zach Wilson, get him, against mediocre quarterback, right? And we feed him against Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins. Any more news on the Bills' mass illness? I have no idea. I live 1 mile from the stadium. I don't know what's going on. Absolutely crazy. Hopefully everyone is good. We're walking wounded right now, Bills Mafia. That's for sure. Scary times. This is a pinnacle game. And the AFC East is so close. And it's easy as Bills fans to be overconfident and think about years past. And we're gonna be fine. And we're gonna make it. We got Josh Allen and Diggs, but it's different. This year is different. And the don't blink attitude, it's just not working. And I even heard Isaiah McKenzie joke and say, humans blink. And it's true. Like, humans do blink. They don't blink. Unfortunately, humans do blink. And what the Chiefs slogan is this year is live in the moment. And I feel like that's so much more powerful than don't blink, because it means, these times don't come back around. Just like if you played high school football, you go back, you reflect back on that time, or you played other sports and you reflect back on that time and you think about, how special that time was. Well, guess what? Today is that day. For these kids and these players on this Buffalo Bills team. This is not going to come around again. This is your moment. Live in the moment. Live in the moment. You never know. Micah Hyde, we saw it. I mean, how many more signs do we need to see? And it's horrible. And I feel like the Bills players somewhat have taken it for granted. We've taken it for granted. But Bills Mafia, baby, we've been through 17 years of missing the playoffs. We know what it is. We know what it is. And Micah Hyde not being out there in that field, Jordan Poyer not being on that field, it's more than football. It's that heart. It's being the first players that were brought here to break that playoff drought. The last ones that were here on this team to break that playoff drought. The last ones that know what it was like to be here, to be a Bills fan, to be a part of Bills Mafia when we were losers. It's horrible. It's horrible. I can't believe it. After 13 seconds, we blink. Not good. And I hope the Bills play a video or something. Someone needs to come up with a video and showcase the Bills players and what this actually means to our team. It's like, what are we fighting for? We got to ball out. Jamal says Josh needs to take what the defense gives him. Nothing wrong with the check downs. That's right. Put the ball in our playmakers' hands. Let them do it. Nothing fancy at all. We have the players. We have the scheme. We have everything we need. We got everything to freaking shatter NFL records, guys. And why aren't we? I don't know. Got a ball. We got a ball. Relied on a lot. I mean, we could reflect back. It's the halfway point of the season right now, and you think about all the changes on the offense that we made. I love the balance. I do love the balance, though, of running it a little bit more. Some changes. It's definitely changed. The evolution of this offense, we're definitely starting to see it. The loss still stings. Yeah. And this season has been a pure example of living in the moment. Realizing moments like this don't come very often. You never know who's going to go down. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Do you think we should have tried and gotten Kadarius Toney instead of Nyheim Hines? I like Nyheim Hines. I really do. He's got years on his contract, right? He can run the ball. He can catch the ball in the backfield. Devin Singletary's in a contract year. Looks like, I don't know if we're going to be able to re-sign Devin Singletary when he hits free agency this upcoming year. And Bills, again, it's tough. It's tough because we're passing the ball pretty much 60% of the time. We are a passing team. We want to put the ball in the best player's hands, and that's putting it in Josh Allen's hands. But when the time comes when we need to run it, it's tough. It's tough to just transition to the run, We're still trying to figure that out. Kind of crazy. And for years to come, we got to build this offensive line through the draft and have some continuity there on the offensive line. Bringing in Saffold was nice, good free agent signing, but we gotta have some continuity there still. Develop some players in the background. I mean, Mitch Morris is getting up in age. It's tough. Who's going to replace him, right? Jamal Jones says the Bills are still holding a wild card spot. We will have our own path in front of us, right? 6 AFC East games left here. Bills control their own destination. I'm not worried. But this game is huge. If we go out and we stink and we lose to the Cleveland Browns, this isn't good. It's going to be a tough hill to climb. And I'm not saying we're out of the playoffs or anything, but man, the Super Bowl, it's going to be very, very tough. Very tough. Let's see. Yes, he did cost a lot. Plus the positional need that we have with the running back. Nyheim Hines is just dominant. He's so fast too. Absolutely dynamite. Let's just see here. I just want to compare some stats really quick again too. Let's see. So look at this here too. Rushing the football 5th in the NFL. Cleveland Browns. It's just the Bills. We got to stop. We got to stop the run. We got to stop the run in this game. And fortunately, it is going to be at Ford Field. Absolutely huge. It's going to be at Ford Field. We don't have to worry about the snow. I've been saying it too. It's like when you run routes, you can't run routes in the snow. Like a route is a strict path that a wide receiver has to follow. You have to be there at a certain amount of time. You can't do that in the snow. You can't do that in the snow. You got to invent things in the snow. I mean, growing up here, that's what you do. Backyard football. That's why it's easier to just hand the ball off. And check this out. That Snow Bowl game the last time was Jacoby Brissett. He was the quarterback that we're going against now at Cleveland. But he knows all about the snow. He knows that Snow Bowl game just as well as us and Josh Allen. He was the quarterback of the Colts. So it's crazy. It's crazy to say it's a good thing that this game has been moved. I don't know. I that's just how I feel. I feel like I'm happy the game moved to Detroit. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Now if we were playing someone else, like if we were playing like say the Chiefs, right? I don't know. I'd like it at home. I'd like to play a snowball game at home. But being that we're going against, the Cleveland Browns, or even if we were going against the Ravens, please don't play in Buffalo. If we're going against any team, even the Patriots, with Stevenson, the Ramondre Stevenson, even the Jets when they were running it, telling you guys, even Green Bay, they ran it down our throats. That'd be dangerous playing this week at home here in Buffalo. So it's definitely a good thing this game was moved to Ford Field. Buffalo Bills should be able to freaking slang that ball around against this defense. Let's see. If it's not at your home stadium, how is it an advantage? Yeah, it's an advantage because the Cleveland Browns are awesome at running the football. 3rd best in the NFL. Chubb is dominant, is absolutely dominant. I mean, look at 5th in the NFL overall rushing. Nick Chubb is 3rd best running back in the NFL. Just tough. It's tough. The reason why Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen are so good is because of Stephon Diggs' running of routes, and you're not going to be able to run routes in the snow. When you hand the ball off, you can paint the field with your feet and just do freely whatever you want. Stephon Diggs can't do that running a route. He's got to run his route. So it's really Josh Allen just getting the football, literally locking eyes with the wide receivers, or just telling all the wide receivers generally just like get open, and that's it. So, and it's also an advantage for the following week where we play the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. So it's a huge advantage for us. Singletary, let's see. Daniel says, and Jacoby Brissett. Keep in mind, Jacoby Brissett is not Josh Allen. And in a dome, we could keep slanging that ball around, man. Weather statistically is proven to have lower scoring games. We don't want that. We don't want that against the Browns. Singletary, problem with fumbles, hasn't gotten better. Man, we're all these running backs. Fumbleitis. I know Zach Moss, gone. But I'm telling you, Nyheim Hines is a sleeper. This kid is working so hard in the background. Once he gets this playbook, once he gets up to speed for Bills Mafia, this is going to be freaking huge. It's going to be huge. People just don't understand. And you listen to all the Colts fans when Nyheim Hines came to Buffalo, they were all so pissed. They're like, you got a baller. You got an absolute baller. Nyheim Hines can line up on the perimeter. He can line up in slot. He can line up at running back. The screen plays, the jet sweeps. I mean, he's literally everything balled into one. Nyheim Hines is literally going to open up this offense. There's a reason Brandon Beane felt the need for another player to this offense. Like there's a reason why the Bills made that move, and it's because teams have figured out how to beat the Buffalo Bills, doubling Stephon Diggs, putting their best corner on Gabe Davis, making the Bills beat them with a number 2, number 3 option during games. And the Bills just haven't had a good enough number 2 or number 3 to beat good defenses. We've gotten beat Miami, the Jets, the Vikings. We haven't been good enough. But when Nyheim Hines gets up to speed, I'm saying we're going to be good enough. There's just going to be too much to pay attention to. Nyheim Hines in there, James Cook developing along the way, Isaiah McKenzie coming back from that concussion. He's going to continue to get better and better, right? Dawson Knox, he had a shaky offseason too. Unfortunate loss with his brother, right? I mean, I think everything is just hopefully going to come together at the right time for Bills Mafia. Hopefully the stars align at the right moment in time, which is late in the season, right when you want it to align. Hopefully freaking God is on our side here. Let's go with Tremaine leading in tackles. It's going to be hard without him. Really will be. Definitely be hard. I don't know how quick AJ Klein, hopefully AJ Klein can start this week. We got to get him going this week. I mean, Terrell Bernard, he's fast. He's definitely not as good as Tremaine Edmonds. I mean, Tremaine Edmonds literally calls the play to our defense. It's a it's a huge loss, tremendous loss, Tremaine Edmonds. And when he went down versus the Vikings, man, I was like, that's horrible. We got to transition without that. Terrell Bernard is definitely not Tremaine Edmonds. And man, I don't know. We got to stop the run. We got to be able to stop the run. And Tremaine Edmonds is definitely better against the run than Terrell Bernard. Bernard's maybe good, not as good against the pass, but he's great. He's good defending the pass as well. Jamal Jones says, what's the chances Buffalo plays 4-3 defense sometimes and come out of nickel defense? That's exactly what we're going to be doing. Guaranteed. And maybe the Bills so far this season were reluctant getting out of that nickel defense. We saw it against the Baltimore Ravens, even in the goal line. Maybe because Lamar Jackson's running ability too, but we refuse to get out of that nickel defense. We're comfortable in that nickel defense, and it could potentially be because we don't really depend on Terrell Dotson, right? We fear Terrell Dotson being out there. We fear Terrell Bernard being out there for the Bills. We kind of don't. We want our best players out there on the football field, right? So being in the nickel, that was our best option. So, but now with AJ Klein, I think it changes things up. We got to think about it. We got to think about it now. AJ Klein, 4-3 defense. I like that. Take. I'm sure we're going to see it. Even in the dome, even in out of the snow. They're good. Christopher Smith. Doesn't matter where the game is played. It all comes down to who shows up to play. That's right. Got to show up. It's like the Super Bowl. Got to show up. Practice for the Super Bowl. Going chances of a 4-3 or 0 because Bills coaches are too stubborn. Oh, burned. Yes. Let's go. Use Hines speed down the field and it'll open up the middle of the field for chunk plays. That's what it's all about. Chunk plays. I mean, how many times have we seen Josh Allen just chuck it deep this season? It's been not too often. It's unfortunate. We saw that huge 70-yard bomb after Josh Allen's injury. Gabe Davis going through his hands. But I'd like to see that more often too. Bomb it out. Mike says Hines is on the milk carton along with Shakir, Cook, Rhodes, Marlowe. Man, we got to get some plays out of these guys. We got to start getting this all together. Bills Mafia. CD. Hope Amari Cooper doesn't cook our young secondary. We spoke about it already, CD, too. It's not even Amari Cooper. It's Peoples Jones, too. He's a freak. He only has like 7 less receptions than Amari Cooper. He's been balling out this year as well. So it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I kind of wanted to go live tonight, discuss some things with all of you. I appreciate every single one of you guys joining me tonight. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We're going to be going live during the game, doing the live play-by-play. Balling out here at BNC. Long form, short form content. We got some BNC t-shirts in the description. You guys could check that out too. So also, if you guys want to join live as well, hit me up. I'll probably be going live on Instagram after this as well. We're Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter. God, TikTok, whatever one. Balling out. So I hope you guys enjoy tonight. AJ Klein, baby, Buffalo Bills going to Ford Field. I'll take it. Check you guys soon. Go Bills.